Fun Facts presents Porsche race cars, models 904, model 905, model 906, model 907, and model 910. Let's get started now. Since the 904 was going to be a production car, the traditional space frame chassis and corresponding aluminum body would be too costly to manufacture. So, such restrictions led Porsche chassis designer Schroeder into an entirely different new approach. Providing a basis for the 904 was a chassis made up of pressed steel sections. On top of the chassis sat a unique fiberglass body shell which was bonded and bolted to the chassis. So there were over 50 fiberglass pieces that made up the body of the 904, and they were built and assembled by the Henkel Aircraft Company. Upon completion, they were sent to the Zuffenhausen to be matted with their chassis. And with its fiberglass body, the Porsche 904 was the first of a long line of plastic-bodied race cars. Fiberglass offered many distinct advantages. It didn't rust, it was easily to repair, and the molds were easily altered, and most of all, it was lightweight. In 1966, the 906 Carrera, also known as the Carrera 6, succeeded the 904, yet it also heralded a completely new era. With the 904, the Porsche had effectively retained its iron grip on the under 2-liter GT class. A potential for further development remained. Why the change? Several reasons obtained. First, Ferrari threatened to break up that grip with the new dangerously fast V6 Dino. Second, a return to the tubular space frame technology was desirable since repairing the 904's chassis body was a bugbear, and with use, the old bonding technique had made for wild variations of the chassis' rigidity. The Porsche 907 was a prototype sports car built by Porsche during 1967 and 1968, and the first Porsche car that won Daytona 24-hour race. The racing car was revolutionary in its design, with a completely long tail body designed specifically for endurance events. This car probably looked like a bit out of the proportion because of the unusual fighter plane looking roof of the cockpit, but that's why the height of the car was a bit bigger than it needed to be. Okay, so next in Porsche's, 908 class, in the late 60s, they were facing both Ferrari and a Ford Coupe that sparked the new generation of Porsche prototypes that led to the most successful era. For the first time, Porsche competed in all of the championship races with hopes of overall victory. This new era began with the 908 Coupe, supported by the much smaller 907 midway through the 1968 championship. The 908 was the first car built for the CSI's prototype Group 6 class that limited the engine capacity to 3 liters. In 1968, only the competition came from the JW Engineering Ford GT40s, which won Le Mans and the championship that year. So the 908 prototype was named after its 8-cylinder flat-6 engine. Driven by some of the best drivers, the 908 had the successful career in 1968 and 1969. In 1967, Porsche created the 910-6, and the car won the Nürburgring 1,000-kilometer race in 1967. While not the most significant victory in Porsche's history, it was perhaps the most sentimental. After a decade of trying, an overall win in Germany's most prestigious sports car race was finally achieved. The home team won before the home crowd. So despite Porsche's best racing season in years, the factory lost the prototype championship to Ferrari by a single point. As usual, the under 2-liter trophy was Stuttgart's, but Porsche wanted more. The Porsche 910, or Carrera 10 as it was called, was a race car from Porsche based on the Porsche 906. 29 were produced and were raced in 1966 and 1967, and the factory name for the 910 was the 906-10. The 910 was considered the next sequence in the 906 line. And this brings us to the end of the commentary for this video, but please continue to watch the photos if you wish. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and if you like the video, please give us a thumbs up. And if you like our channel, please subscribe. It really does help us promote our videos, and we'd love to see you in the next release of our next video, which should be daily. We'll be doing perhaps one more Porsche video, and then we'll be moving on to maybe some Lamborghini or some Lambo or type race car videos, and then maybe Ferrari and Corvette and all the rest of the exotic cars that are out there racing in today's circuit. So thank you and have a wonderful day.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Jungle.